Hey guys, welcome back. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever I'm supposed to say. I am starting to make some wiring harnesses. I was going to make the harnesses for the monitor today, but I had to order some wire. So I ordered 8-core wire that comes in a sleeve like this, and I ordered the one with the shield in it. So it has a shield around the outer perimeter on the inside. I just thought that would be a little bit better. I don't know if this is shielded or not, but anyways, I'm waiting on the wire to come and some of these smaller connectors, because I believe this is a Molex KK254 connector, and the smallest ones I have are these ones right here, which I believe are the 156s. So unfortunately I can't make these today, but I need to make a couple harnesses for the speakers themselves. So I took this off of my Tron game. Okay, so this goes into the amp, and then this goes into the two 6x9 speakers, which are inside the marquee. So I cut to length two white and black stripe and two red and black stripe, because if you look here, the original wires are white with a red stripe and then white with a black stripe. Now I still got to cut the green wires, so I need a wire that is green with a black stripe and then a solid green wire. So I need to take, since I'm cutting these all the same length, I'm just going to take a piece of this wire here, and we'll unspool some of the green with black stripe wire here. We need 2 of these. So I'm just going to make everything the same length. And we'll just do a couple pieces a day. We don't need to go crazy with it. Kind of be a little bit easier, I think, for people to follow it too, if we don't do a bunch in one day. I was hoping to do the speaker and the video cable, but that's okay. We'll just get the speaker ones made today. So now I have my green with black stripes cut. Now I need to cut 2 of them just straight green wire, and I have it right here. It's not on my roll right now. If I can get the plastic off it. And it's taped. I'm using 20 gauge and 18 gauge wire. The wire for the monitor is actually 24 gauge. I might end up, I think I ordered 22 gauge because that's what I found for the monitor wire, which it doesn't matter if it's a little bit thicker. It's not going to hurt anything at all. So I'm just going off the exact length of what they made originally. And we'll trim everything to the same length if we need to. But it should be pretty damn close. Okay, so now I have my 2 green wires, my 2 green with black stripe wires, my white with red stripe, 2 of those, and then 2 white with black stripes. So now we need a total of, so how we got to do this here? It's going to be kind of a mess. So I'm going to take a white and red stripe and a green, and I need a white and black stripe, and then a green and black stripe. So this makes up one harness here. And we'll zip tie it all together and everything like they did originally. So now what we need to do is, we have on the original harness here, the green with black stripe is grouped with the red, white and red stripe. So the green and black goes with red and white. So we're just going to kind of take these two first. Okay. Now we're going to strip the ends off of these two. These are stripped long because these are getting the these terminals right here. These female, these are 0.25. These are for the speakers. Same as they use there. These ones have shrink tubes on them. These ones did not. So we need to crimp these on, and of course I don't have my crimpers in here, so I gotta go grab my crimpers real quick. And we're going to crimp those two on, and then we're going to put a zip tie on that one, and then we'll do the other two wires. All right. Yeah. Stupid. Trying to get this leg in the right spot here. All right. So let's crimp on these two. Now I kind of want to make a video on all these because if somebody wants to make a harness, hopefully this will help them out. To understand it a little bit better. Just break everything down. You don't have to look at it as a whole with, you know, for 30, 40 different wires. Just look at it as a few pieces here and there. It's going to make your life a lot easier to figure it out. Now these crimpers I buy at Home Depot, they're about $30. These I like way better than those cheap ones that you buy. These really crimp these ends on very well. And then the heat shrink tube also helps. So we're gonna shrink these. I don't have my heat gun in here, so we're just using my little butane torch. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm gonna look at Lowe's and see if Craftsman sells a cordless heat gun, because I have all those cordless batteries down here, so it would be pretty smart of me to just buy a cordless heat gun if Craftsman offers one. I don't like using the torch much because if you hold it into a certain spot for too long, you'll burn the connector and it just looks like crap. And I don't want this to look like shit, so I would rather do it the right way and get a heat gun down here. I could bring one in from the shop, but then I'm always going to be bringing it back and forth. So it'd probably be wise to just have an extra one. I'm using the red ends because those are the smallest of the three. It goes red is the smallest, then it goes blue, and then yellow is the biggest. I think they actually might have one below the red. Maybe it's clear. I'm not sure, but now when you shrink these, sometimes the end of the tube will stick out like on this white and red wire here. And if that's the case, if that happens, I just take my cutters and trim it back to the metal. Just like that, so then you can get it onto your speaker terminal. So now that we have these two shrink tubed together, you notice here that they have a clear zip tie, maybe about 3-4 inches down. So we're just going to duplicate that. Okay, so now we have those two made. Just the one end, obviously. We're not doing any more zip ties right now, just those two. Kind of just rest that into there. Now let's get our black wire and our green wire here, because these are the other two that are grouped together. Is solid green and then the white and black stripe. We're going to put the ends on these two. If anybody needs like a harness or a part of a harness, let me know. You know, I might be able to make it for you, depending on if I have the game or not. I have quite a few games, so it's a pretty good likelihood I might have it. If I do, and you guys are just looking for a part of a harness, let me know. I'd be more than willing to make it. Try to charge you the least amount of money as I can, but obviously the stuff is not cheap. I just know a lot of times you can't just buy parts. You know, like for instance, I'm making the Journey harness and the harness for Kickman. Well, I already have my power harness part of it, okay? So the harness that goes from the power brick up to the marquee light and stuff like that, I already have it for both cabinets. So why would I waste my time making it, you know, and why buy a whole harness to get that part again that I really don't need, you know? And if somebody just needs a speaker harness for an MCR game or for a different game or something like that, you know, let me know. See what I can do for you. But the striped wire is more expensive than the solid wire. You could use solid wire and put shrink tube on it. So let's say I had a solid white wire, I could put a black shrink tube on it in a few spots, and that would designate that it is a white wire with a black stripe. But I just figured, you know, let's just try to make it as close as factory as I can. Obviously it's not exact because this wire stripe is like twisted down, and these are actually like dash marks, but you know, you can only get it so close. And this thing is just a cheap zip tie cutter. It just pulls it tight and cuts it from Harbor Freight. I think it was like 10-15 bucks. Okay, so now we have the ends like this, so we're good there. So we're going to do one more zip tie for now, and it looks like we come down about this far, and we zip tie all 4 of them together now. I might offer, you know, for sale like the monitor harnesses and stuff, because I've looked and I just can't seem to find them anywhere. But we'll see what happens. Okay, now that we have those like that, this looks pretty good. If you hold it up like this, I guess I should pull this one a little farther through. So I'm going to cut this zip tie because I did screw up a little bit there. We just want this one side to be a little bit longer so you have more room to get to your other speaker. No big deal, it's just a zip tie. I like using that because it cuts it perfectly flush. And I think that just went in my pocket. Maybe. Okay, so now, you know what? Let's zip tie it. Screw it. Because then it'll all be to the right length, and I'll know where to cut the other end at. Guess it doesn't really matter, you know? Now, I've made plenty of partial harnesses for coin doors and speakers and stuff like that. I have physically not ever made a complete harness for a whole game. But since I have the games here, it's really not that big a deal to make them because I have a duplicate, something to go off of. Looks like they zip tied this about every 8 inches after the first couple. Still waiting on the artwork for Journey. Joe Zabo is making it, and I don't know when it's going to be done, to be honest with you. I figured it would have been done already, but he must be a little backed up. Hopefully it'll be done in the next couple weeks, so we'll be able to get the Journey wrapped up. Still waiting on the amp board too to show up, or the board for the cassette deck should say. I have zip ties everywhere. They do make on Amazon a zip tie tool. It's a gun. It's manual. I mean, the factory used like ones that were like air pneumatic or something back in the day, but they have one that has like, it holds like a spool of the zip tie wire itself, and then it feeds in these little ends. But I don't think I'm gonna be doing a ton of this, so I didn't want to spend the money on it. I'm just gonna put one more on for now, and then we can cut the wire to length and get the ends put on it. Okay, so for now, let's leave that. Now we're going to take this end here, and we're going to cut all four of these to the same length. Garbage is full again. Okay, so now we have to get our end connector here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6-pin end connector. And what are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have the right size connector here. Now we need to put the pins into this. Just trying to see which way I want to put it. I'm actually going to go look real quick on the board to see which way this plugs in better onto the board. If there's a capacitor in the way or something like that, because these pins are offset, you have more plastic available on this side than on this side. So I just want to make sure I don't put it on backwards or have it interfere with something else. Okay, there is zero interference either way I put it. But I'm going to put a key in there. And what the key is going to do is to keep it from being able to be plugged in backwards. If you look here, we got 2 holes and then we got a key. So I'm going to put it this way. So I'm going to go 2 holes. So on my 3rd hole, I'm going to put a key in there. And you got these little plastic keys that you slide in here. Push them in. And now we know that this can only go this direction. So how they have this wired is the first wire is our white and black. Our second wire is our straight green. So we need to get 2 of these ends out here. These are 0.156 pins. I need to put my leg up. Okay, so we got 156. So now we don't want to strip too much off. We want to try to only take about, I like to have about a 1/4 inch reveal showing of the bare copper wire. Okay, so now we're going to take our Molex crimpers here, and when I don't use them for a while, I get a little forgetful on how they go. But I think I remember. So we're going to take this and we're going to crimp it. Now you need to slide the wire in. I'll show you here in a minute. So by not stripping it a lot, the first set of pins wrap around the outer coating of the wire. Your second set of pins crimp around the copper part of the wire, and that's how you need to do it. So you get a good physical contact, copper, and you have the physical strength of the second set of pins being wrapped around the housing of the wire, and it keeps it from wanting to pull out. Now, sometimes I will go over it a second time with the smaller set once I crimp it once, but let's see what it does in this. Yeah, it just kind of reassures that it's tight. So on these, I start on the middle set, and then I'll go on to the smallest set to just verify that it's crimped nice and tight. You don't need to do that, but I like doing that. You got to make sure, like I said, make sure you're through. The housing of the wire is far enough in that it's going to go onto that crimp connector. Technically, you could, this outer ring could hit the copper, but it's going to be a shitty connection, and more than likely, this would pull off over time, especially if you tugged on it or anything like that. So if you look up closer, you can see that's about all that I stripped off. It's probably not even a 1/4 inch, probably like 3/16. Okay, now we have all those crimped on. We just need to go on here and duplicate this. So we're going to do white with black stripe first. Make sure I slide it in the right direction. Okay, then next to that is a solid green. All right, tug on them a little bit, make sure they're in place. And then we skip the key. And then right after the key is our white and red. Okay, and then we are going to skip a pin again, a hole, and then we're going to put the green and black on the very last one. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to do 2 more zip ties. And this one's done. Then I just need to make the other one. Then I'll have my harness for my speakers for both Journey and for Kickman. If there's some interest in this kind of stuff, you know, definitely let me know. I'll sit here and make a dozen of these at one time, especially now that my knee is screwed up for the next, at least the next week. But I'm gonna say I'll probably be getting an MRI the first of the year, which means if it's screwed like it is, then I'm gonna have to have surgery, and then it's gonna be a couple more weeks of sitting around. So who knows? So this is one right here, guys. So this pretty much is identical duplicate to the original. Wire colors are as close as I can get them from what I can order from nowadays versus a long time ago. But you can see here we got our stripes and everything going. I like this a lot nicer than putting shrink wrap on it if I don't have to. And let's check our length here. I mean, we should be within reason. It's okay if it's a hair off. It's not going to hurt anything. We're within literally an inch or two. So that worked out really well. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one off camera. And then if I think of anything else, I'll come back at the end here. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this again with these wires I already have made. And at that point, I got that done. I really wish I could have done the monitor one on here as well, because the monitor and the speaker one right here, these are separate, and then everything else is kind of grouped together in a big group of wires. So we I might separate it. I might take apart the harness, the zip ties, and then re-zip tie it back together after I do it, just so I know. And I might actually make a third one of these just to keep it as a reference, because then if I need to make more in the future, I already have it. I don't have to pull it out of a game. I can maybe hang it up or label it or do something with it. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and knock out this other one, and then I'll be back. Okay, they are both made. So they are both identical. Ready to go into the cabinets. Tomorrow I'll take some more harness out of the Tron cabinet and continue with the harness for Kickman, because that is a little bit different than the Journey harness. So I'll have to take the Journey harness out of the Journey cabinet next. But I might as well get the Kickman done first, because I still don't have the artwork for Journey, so I guess I'll wait. I'll do that harness as soon as I finish the Kickman harness. Probably gonna have to take out pretty much the whole harness for Tron in order to duplicate that. I'm pretty sure I have the harness for the control panel for Kickman. I think I got to do a little bit of a modification to it. Somebody had changed a couple of the wires, but I'm pretty positive I have what I need for that. So we'll just go from there. We'll get that started. Like I said, I'm not making the main power harness, so that saves a little bit of time. But these I'm going to put off to the side now, because those are ready to go. Like I said, I'll get the big harness out tomorrow out of Tron, and we'll start knocking away the main part of the harness. It'll probably be a 2-video series. It's all depending on how long it's going to take to do. Hopefully I ordered all the right color striped wires here in order to do it. If for some reason I don't have the right color wire with the right color stripe, I do have some shrink tube. I have several different colors, so hopefully I can come up with the right color combination if I don't have what I need. But I'm pretty sure I looked through the harness and found exactly what I needed, but we'll have to see what happens. So, all right, guys, so that's going to end this video. Nothing real big or long. Just kind of wanted to get started on this stuff and just get it going. Start plugging away at it. Get it done so we can get Kickman up and working. That would be nice to see that game up and running. See how that monitor looks that we rebuilt. The other monitor that I need to rebuild for the Stargate is over there in the corner. I did postpone my party because I don't know what's going to happen with my knee, and I don't really want to be wobbling around or sitting around the whole time people are over. So kind of postpone that, so I'm not in a super hurry with that. But I do want to get back onto Stargate this week and figure out those wires, and then see if we can get a CPU board to work. But that's going to end this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. Just lets you know when more videos come out. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later, and have a good holiday.